Hello there folks, I'm RJB from RJB TV, and it is time to continue on with that epic battle that we've been watching this week between Voss and Mong. It's time for replay number 4. It's time to finish this battle while we can. Just let me find the replay. Usually I find the replay before I start recording, but for some reason I hit record after I started recording. So just let me find that replay. It should be somewhere in here. And I think I found it. Guys. Two people who are gonna be facing off today. You already know their names. It's gonna be Voss and Mong. Tuning in right here, right now. Well, not live, but you know, kind of live. This is a look into the past. Voss here on the blue Protoss, right next to Mong on the orange Terran. We got it 1 o'clock against 3 o'clock, top left against middle right. And the previous couple of games, both players have really displayed their variety of skills and their consistency in performing at a very high level. In the first 2 games, Voss won twice, Protoss against Terran. Displayed some really high-level Protoss. I was honestly impressed. Most of all, he played very, very smart. Whereas Mong is usually a pure mechanical monster, willing to take risks and rely on his micro to carry him to the win. And when it works, when it all comes together for Mong, he honestly does look pretty much unbeatable. But as the first 2 games have proven, he is not unbeatable. He's close to being unbeatable, but I mean, he does lose a couple of games every now and then, as long as his opponent manages to do everything correct, and Mong makes a couple of, you know, I'd argue, small or tiny or big mistakes, which he does not make often. There's going to be a barracks first build order into a supply depot, into barracks number 2 and barracks number 3. Whereas Voss starts off with double gateway, into what I assume is going... Wait. I assume he's going to go for a Nexus after this. It's going to be a Nexus, I'm sure. This is basically the build order where you as a Protoss still want to have some early game pressure on a Terran and be able to defend your choke. Because in the previous game, because Voss went for Nexus, Forge, pylon into choke, into gateway, into 2 cannons at his choke, he was not able to defend his choke. And this is kind of the build order where you aim to play it a little bit more safe, having some Marines out on the map and using those Marines to put pressure on the Terran. And while you are putting pressure on the Terran, you're going to get a pylon and 2 cannons up there in the front. And then at some point, when the Marines start to overpower your Zealots, you retreat back to your choke, and you're safe and sound with cannons here to protect you and keep those Terran Marines out of your base. That is why Voss is not yet building the pylon in the front. He's going for, I'd argue, the safer option of double gateway, Nexus, Forge. Here's the neck Forge. 1 gas. Most of the times people make 2 gas. He can afford 2 gas. He can afford 2. He's got the minerals for it, but he's only making a single 1. Like, he could have afforded it. He's got enough money for it. Like, he can make 2 Zealots after this. He can make another Cyber Core. He can make a Simulator. He has the money, but he's deciding to delay his 2nd gas, which leads me to believe he's most likely gonna go for something like a 3 gateway build order. But it turns out that Mong's superior micro skills have allowed him to kind of push back on Voss. Voss, of course, tried to put some pressure onto Mong with his Zealots, but didn't quite succeed. The Zealots didn't really do much, although now... I'd say the micro from Mong here is just too good. He knows exactly how many Marines he can afford to lose, how much damage his Marines can afford to take before moving them. He knows he's got this, and it turns out that it doesn't matter if you go for a safer build order or a riskier build order. Mong will find a way to kill your choke. Mong will find a way to kill your choke. Although pulls the SV away just in time as he stays alive, moves to back. Zealots are getting pulled into the bunker. Oh, Mong. Yeah, this is prime Mong gaming. I mean, he's a pro player for a reason. And he's been playing in the most recent ASL, and he's been having some success in the most recent ASL. I'm not gonna provide any more spoilers, but he's been playing pretty damn good at the pro level on the normal maps. So like, this guy is no joke. This guy is the realest deal of all the real deals that you're ever gonna find in a real deal sale. So he's got some SCVs there in the mix to start building some bunkers, maybe some turrets, and to, of course, help in microing against those zealots. So Mong finds a nice little spot there in the top corner where there are no cannons yet. Voss is moving in to try and buy time for those cannons to finish, forces him to cancel the bunker. Mong moved up a little bit too far, so he's now going to retreat back to his bunker there and try to play from there and slowly push up on Voss. Or maybe he's even going to pull back all the way into his own home base, where he built a command center. He's got a factory on the way and an engineering bay there as well, whereas Voss is going for fast Dark Templars to defend himself against that marine pressure. Which means, of course, that we're going to need a scan for Mong, and maybe some turrets here on the scene from Mong as well, although he pulled back his SCVs, so we might not even get to see the turrets here inside of Voss's base. So it looks like Mong is happy with what he has achieved. He has disrupted the build order Voss wanted to do, which buys himself a lot of time. Voss is adjusting into a heavy gateway build order. There's no robotics on the map yet, which means there's no drops coming in, and Mong just keeps moving back and forth to keep gathering information and to start killing structures that are not properly protected by cannons. But now Voss tried to make a really good move by attempting to cut off the escape path so that he could trap those Marines in with the Dark Templars. Dark Templars arriving, starts hitting the Marines. The scan is a little bit late. Scan comes in, starts hitting the Dark Templars. Both Dark Templars go down, but now enough Marines went down for the Marines to pull back and retreat to the bunker. And he pushes them back successfully. I thought he would commit to the fight, but it looks like he really does not want to fight on that bunker. Because Voss, of course, also doesn't quite know how many units does Mong have in total. He'd rather play it safe, preserve those zealots, and aim for the follow-up attack that's going to happen very soon in the near future. But as the game is looking right now, Mong is in a really good position. He's got 2 more barracks on the way. So I've talked about this before. Let me just say it again. When you are playing Terran against Protoss and you're on one of these middle spawns, like this 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 12 o'clock, you've got 5 different angles shuttles can fly in from. Which goes to reason, you might need 5 barracks in total to cover every single path the shuttles can take. And Mong really is one of those players who can really use the Marine production to the maximum, because his Marine control is absolutely bonkers. His reaction time, his clicking speed is bonkers. His accuracy is insane. But we've got Voss here with a massive Zealot army attacking the front door, trying to break through, but he put those medics there on hold position, which means he cannot break through. He can try to break through by hitting the supply depots, but it would cost him a lot of Zealots. So he decides not to do it, decides to preserve them for an attack later on into the future. Turrets are coming up there for Mong on the side. 2 starports there building raids. He's expecting shuttle drops. He scans the robotics there in the base. Sees both shuttles there finishing up. Sorry for that little scooty scoop up to the left side. He's got Dragoon range on the way. Shuttle speed on the way. Templar Storm on the... Wait, no Templar Storm on the way. Wait, no Templar... Did he already finish his Templar Storm? Level 1 armor is also on the way. We've got a shuttle there in the middle. There's a Templar and a Zealot in there. 1 Marine there on the middle spots out the shuttle, which is gonna give Mong the necessary information to start preparing and move Marines around in his base to try and intercept it as soon as it flies in. He does not yet have extended vision up on the high ground by hovering buildings or putting Marines up on the high ground. We've got another drop there coming out from the north, so he's going to try to go for a double drop, or maybe for a drop from the bottom, a drop from the front, and an attack from the front. He's going to try to distract Mong away from those shuttles with his frontal attack. Got a drop there in the air, another drop there in the air as well, and a drop there on the bottom. He scans the bottom side. Oh, he's so smart. He scanned the bottom side, sees the shuttle, so he knows it's coming in. He knows Voss cannot go in through the front door, so he doesn't really have to pay attention to the front door, and his shuttle gets taken down because shuttle speed apparently just finished up a little bit too late. The shuttle goes down without having to pay attention to it. Another shuttle there in the front tries to sneak in, breaks through the depots there in the front. And shuttle trying to... He can't go in much deeper. So he unloads the temple up on the high ground, hoping to storm some marines, but only gets a single kill. Shuttle is too low HP to really use any longer. Level 1 attack there is finished up for the marines. Shuttle drop comes in there from the top side. This one stays alive. One Templar unloads too far away there, though. It's going to take down both those high Templars before they can even arrive at the SCVs. One Templar there, one Zealot there, hitting those turrets. Voss is having a little bit of trouble spending his minerals because he got so many ropes, while losing structures in his base that his economy simply was greater than what he could realistically and physically spend. Mong not having such troubles, his SCV count is a little bit lower, ending on 2 more command centers. What is this? That is 4 more command centers. He's going for 5 in total. Rebuilding his wall there in the front. Level 1 armor is finished up there for Voss. Level 1 attack and level 2 armor. Filling out his space with a couple more Stargates because he probably will have to switch over into carriers with these spots here on the map, because Mong can put tanks here on the side and make it very difficult for Voss to move out. So drop bear coming out from the north. He scans it. Perfect timing. He's been scanning continuously because he has, well, 1 scan, but he's scanning quite often. Raids are on the hunt there. Kills 1 shuttle, kills 2 shuttle, doesn't kill number 2. Stays alive by 1 hit. 1 single hit. Snipes a Templar in the front. He's just really making life hard for Voss here by having... He's playing really fast, but mostly very aware. He's always gathering information, always scanning the map, scouting the map, getting information, because he knows shuttles are the only method of attack that Voss currently has that he can attack Mong with. So Mong knows he only has to keep track of our shuttles coming in, and can I kill the shuttles in time? And yes, he can. He kills the shuttles just in time. Frontal attack happening as well, but there's not enough to realistically break through. He does kill a bunker, does kill a tank, does kill some marines. But the tank there behind there on the top side stays alive. Marines are being pulled to the front to defend, because he does realize if a follow-up attack comes, and a follow-up attack is on the way, that he might lose a little bit too much of his choke here. Starts repairing the bunker, starts repairing the supply depot. There's piles in the middle. He built there to start building gateways on the middle. Mong pushes back those Dragoons. Another drop there is being prepared there back at home. Another proxy gateway base there being built on 12 o'clock. His game is starting to speed up. And Mong, look at him. He's not planning to all-in attack, but he knows he's got enough Marines to make something funky happen. So he's taking this opportunity to do damage and push back on Voss. I've never before seen anyone do this. He doesn't care about those Marines, he just wants to slow him down, attack him, hurt him, and kill some stuff while opening up supply space. I like this. And while that was happening, while he's buying himself time, he's going to scout the site there, finds a nice little gateway base there that Voss is building. No gateways there on the middle yet. Tanks moving to the front because Dragoon army is on the way, which Mong knows everything about because he just saw all those Dragoons, Templars, and shuttles there inside of Voss's base. Voss forced to pull back. He's got 1 armor, 1 attack. We've got 1 armor, 1 attack on the way there for Mong's tanks, and his Marines are still on 0-1. Not gonna get level 2 weapon. Usually, Mong does get level 2 weapon attack, but this time around he decides against it. Also, he's no longer building SCVs. He's content and satisfied with 61. I'd say at this stage in the game you could do with about 75. And once your bank hits about 5,000, you can throw about 12 away. But until then, I always advise stay on 75. These weird ones are playing on 61, but as you can see, we're already 13.5 minutes in. He does have a nice large base with turrets and supply depots and armories everywhere. But he's kind of a little bit low on gas and money. So the shuttles there both get taken down by the turrets. Another drop there on the bottom side, drop and lows. It's some Reavers. Reavers just there to start attacking some supply depots. Not really focusing on the turrets. Attacking the front there as well. He killed the supply depots because he can hit 4 supply depots at once with his Scarabs, which is more damage than killing some turrets. So that was a smart move. It might not seem relevant because he's not supply blocked, but it was the best option he had at the time. The full attack there, once again, not working out. Does get a pretty good storm off on some Marines, but doesn't really make much progress. Doesn't really do anything that actually harms Mong that much. So Mong still has his, what do you call them, barracks alive. Hasn't lifted them up yet for more vision on the hill and over the map. He's flying back and forth. He's killing more SCVs. He's really playing this on a really small economy. Also, a couple of SCVs, I think they got stuck in between these turrets and they cannot move out. That is why he killed them. So maybe not opening up supply space directly or intentionally. Just getting rid of SCVs that are stuck. So full attack happens once again. The tanks are doing most of the work. As the Zealots hit the bunkers, the tanks shoot on the Zealots, and the Zealots, then with the splash damage coming in from the tanks, damage the bunkers. The Storms there also did a pretty good job. Proctor comes in from the front, doesn't really do much. Not sure. He had something in mind of maybe unloading a Zealot on top of a tank, but couldn't quite get there. Maybe unloading a Zealot on top of the turrets in the bunker to kill the bunker and the turret with a tank splash, but didn't quite work out as he had in mind. 2 armors finished there for Voss, getting a lot of gateways there on the middle. He's basically just going absolute madness gateway man. The easiest, and sometimes even the most effective strategy is just mass gateways. And Voss only has 5 factories. He only has 5 factories. Mong is deliberately playing on a low economy. Only has 600, 700 minerals and is not even maxed out yet. But he's making it work with a small economy against Voss's pretty big economy. Moves in with the raids once again. There's no observer on the scene. Takes down the shuttles. These raids are the absolute MVPs. I think Mong might just be the #1 Wraith defense player in fastest map history. Minchel is really good at it, but Mong, he's just on a whole nother level with his Wraith defense. And yeah, still only 5 factories, still only 57 SCVs. He's playing it low on money, but he is very confident that Voss is never ever gonna hit his minerals. And the upside is, his army is going to be pretty big. 1-1 upgrades there. Shuttle comes in from the bottom side. No Corsair to escort, so it goes down pretty quick. Voss tried to distract with a frontal attack, but didn't quite work. Nothing is really working here. One, in part because Voss just keeps killing the Corsairs and the shuttles. 2, Voss is not making the most optimal choices. He is kind of not playing his strongest game, but I think that is largely in part because Mong is disrupting Voss's game every single step along the way. The Dragoons there moving across the bottom side to take out those barracks. Mong still only on 55 SCVs, getting more factories. They're in the middle of his base to start the party very soon because he's maxed out. He's going to hit 2-2 on his tanks as well. We've got Voss there hitting 3 2-2s. Upgrades have been going very stellar, very fast. He flies in. He's going to unload on top of the tanks. He's going to unload on top of the tanks. That's going to be a pretty painful unload. He might try to break through. He might break through to a degree. Kills most of the tanks that are behind the bunkers. A couple tanks up on the high ground. This is going to be the game breaker. Tanks on the high ground. Voss really had to get more Stargates. And he's going to get more Stargates, I believe, because he's building pylons here. Most likely to build Stargates here. But he really needs Stargates. Because with Stargates he can transition into carriers. He's getting his carrier upgrades as well. He's got 2 cyber cores. And his shield upgrades are already pretty much finished up. Let me see if he's got a Corsair somewhere around the place. Corsairs are not yet finished up. Oh, he got dropped. Oh, I'm blind. A drop made it through. A drop made it through. I'm very blind. I'm gonna have to rewind just a little bit there. Just missing a drop at this stage of the game might just completely change the course of the game, because I was pretty convinced that Mong was gonna win that one easily from the point we were at, but given he's playing on the low economy, a drop is gonna be devastating. Drop comes in. This is pretty much the easiest, simplest, not complex setup at all. Just flies right in there. Like, even Mong missed it. I missed it. We all missed it. A drop just casually flying in over the right side of the map. Hits him right in the heart. I mean, shot through the heart and you're to blame. He certainly did give love a bad name. So yeah, he's down to 35 SCVs. Let's have a little bit of gas in the tank there. He's rebuilding his SCVs as fast as he can, up to 38, 39. Attack there in the front, but the tanks on the high ground are completely screwing the attack up. The Zealots are tripping out. Gonna have to target fire, but he's not target firing because he's getting distracted by Valkyries and shuttles hunting down his own shuttles. I mean, the Valkyries and raids. Tanks are being dropped on the high ground. Mong, despite getting hit on the minerals, is not gonna slow down the pace. He's gonna keep up the attacks, keep up the harassment, and keep up the pressure because he knows he was in a very favorable position, and he's not gonna give Voss the time he needs to set up and wrestle dominance out of Mong's hand. So he's gonna play for the hill abuse, and with all his Valkyries on the high ground, protecting those tanks from shuttles unloading on top of the tanks, it's gonna be very difficult for Voss to make anything happen. This is a situation where you really do need carriers. And that is the one single thing Voss does not have yet. He's starting a massive proxy Stargate baser on the side. He's got so many gateways on the middle that he's just gonna start sending in attacks from the middle. But Mong, with only 46 SCVs, of which only a few on the gas, is pretty massive in terms of army size. Only 46 supply on the SCVs, and those SCVs are not all on the minerals. A couple of them are on the gas, so he's got a really big army, but he's starving for gas. You can see his gas is absolutely low, bottom low. He does not have any gas at all, but doesn't matter. Voss cannot break through the middle because the tanks on the high ground are making it impossible. Carriers are your best friend, but he doesn't have them. And Mong now hunting down individual Dragoons there on the top corner, on the top middle. Dropships coming over to drop tanks as well. He's going to try to shut down the carrier production here before it even gets off the ground. He's got Corsairs on the way to take care of the raids. He needs observers as well, but he doesn't have an observatory. He's warping in 2 observatories in total somewhere on the map. Tanks are unloading here inside the proxy base, killing everything he can. Pylons going down. I mean, pylons are the most efficient way of destroying a proxy base. Kill the pylons, less HP than those gateways, and then the gateways are just completely useless. And you can kill everything really quick, really easily. So Voss here is being thrown completely off his game. Mong is deciding and setting the pace. Mong is completely dictating what's happening. Mong is writing the story. Usually it is the Protoss having the upper hand, but Mong is just picking him apart. Voss is not allowed to properly attack, not allowed to properly defend, not allowed to properly produce. He is on complete lockdown and being punished for all of his prior mistakes. He's paying for his sins, and Mong is the reverend, he's the pastor, and he's not very forgiving. He is not very forgiving at all. So small little frontal attack happened there while I was not watching, but it did pretty much nothing at all, so it probably wasn't really worth looking at. Couple Dark Templars spawning there on the proxy base, and a couple of gateways that are still powered up. Got scans coming down on the main base there. We've got a drop there coming in from the northern side just above Mong's base. Gonna try to fly in over those turrets. Is this one gonna unload? Is this one gonna hit? Nope. SCVs are running away, although they're getting stuck a tiny little bit in between those factories, but he's starting to unload on top of the command center. There's Templars on the scene. He might try to kill the command center. Is it gonna work? Tanks are moving forward. Does look like he might succeed in killing that command center right there on the scene. Stars repairing there with a couple of SCVs. Zealots are dying a little bit too fast, so he can't succeed, can't kill the command center. He holds on to the command center. In the middle, a mess is transpiring. A couple of tanks moved back home by accident, I assume. We've got the raids there still flying back and forth, killing pylons. Probe there trying to build new pylons, but not gonna be allowed to do so. Not gonna be allowed to get those Stargates back and operational. Tanks there on the bottom side there, killing Voss's base. Foster in the front, trying to break through, trying to storm those tanks to the high ground, but not... He has a storm off. Kills the tanks, except for one. So yeah, he did actually achieve what he wanted to do. Not very cost efficient, but he has not made much progress over the past, I'd say, 8 minutes or so. Not much progress at all. Except for the one storm that got Mong down to 35 SCVs, but he's recovered from that really well. Tanks are moving forward. Tank's gonna kill those probes there on the minerals. Gets one shot off, kills about 30. That's a pretty good hit, but I think at this point in the game, that more so helps Voss out than that it hurts him. The rays have been taken down there on the left, on the 12 o'clock base. The forcers did their job. I was clearing out those tanks here inside of his own base, his main base as well. Mong just gonna go for pretty much the Protoss strategy of just shuttling, in this case drop shipping, tanks across the hill and unloading them non-stop, just sending them in non-stop to go for the attack and start killing probes. Kills the remaining probes, 70 probes still alive. He's getting closer, more units are being picked up here in the choke, here in front of Mong's base. Dragoons are coming back, but Dragoons are getting attacked by tanks on the high ground. This position on the high ground is absolutely bonkers. It's bonkers. And Voss's disorganized play, he looked so organized, so on point in the first two games, but in this game, I've said it before, but Mong is just always disrupting whatever Voss is doing. He's making Voss look disorganized, disheveled, like he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know what is going on. This is a terrorizing nightmare for any Protoss player in the world. A Terran that is always one step ahead of you. He's inside the base, killing his stuff. A last effort defense there coming out from Voss, who's got pretty much no money left. Maybe he's got 7,000 money left, 7,000 minerals left. Only 19 probes, which means he's burning through his money. He's burning through his money faster than anything I've ever seen burn before. Comes in, unloads a little bit more there on the side. Tank is heating up. Tank is going to hammer down that Nexus. He's taking everything down. Nothing is safe. Goliath's tanks are on the scene. Dropship there as well. Kills everything. Voss calls GG. Voss got destroyed. Took 25 minutes there though. Took 25 minutes. Because Mong was playing on a small economy, but everything got absolutely ass blasted. Mong wins game number 4, which means that we just watched a double best of 3, because there's no replay number 5, it's just 4 replays. So one set goes to Voss, which is the first 2 videos, or the first 2 replays in the first video, and the last 2 videos, this one included. Mong wins both, gets himself the 2-0 victory, and is allowed to take home a trophy as well. An imaginary trophy, not a real one. They're just playing for fun. Yeah, thank you for watching. It was RGB for RGB TV. A beautiful display of Terran supremacy, showing us all why Terran is the absolute master race, and why the Protoss are simple mere Neanderthalers. Thank you for watching.